Hi everybody.
Welcome everybody. Sunday night again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here we are again.
We almost didn't make it. It's been
a rough week.
Yeah, Rhonda's been extremely busy. We try to do this on Saturday where we have a little more time, and then yesterday was Rhonda had all kind of stuff going on in the afternoon. I had some stuff. Anyway, here we are at Sunday. We're squeezing it in. So if we seem a little rushed, it's
because we are
feeling a little rushed.
Yeah.
We hurry up, we can get it done, and maybe everything will have enough time to get uploaded.
But luckily we're on our own schedule, so
yep,
we're all right. We're good.
Yep, we are. So, a couple of things I wanted to talk about. So, one of the things I got just more going on is half the time during the day I can't wake up. Half the time during the night I can't sleep. So this past week I had a couple of those nights where just can't sleep. One of those nights I sat in the living room with my phone and I went through, so I can do some work in there. So some of the stuff I have to do research or whatever, I can go through my phone. But that played out. And then I went through the entire Facebook. I looked at everything.
The entire Facebook.
Everything on the entire Facebook. And
did you see my post about you?
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
What was it?
Thank you. It's that one. It's that one post. That was a good thing.
Yeah.
And then I went through half of the internet, and finally I went back and I decided, I'm going to go back to. We've been doing this now for 6 months, so I said I'm just go way back and just jump through a bunch of them, and I went through the first few, and I'm like, what? It's like I don't remember playing that song. In fact, I can't even play that song. So how did I do that? It's got some weird timing. All the stuff I said I would never do. 4/4 time, then it jumps to 2/2, 2/4 time or something like that, back to 4/4, and then back to 2/4 and all the stuff. Like, I can't do that, and yet I listened, I watched. I didn't do it great, but I did it. And I was just like, I don't remember how. I don't even remember doing that. How did I even do that? So then the next song, I'm like, what? I don't remember doing that song. How did I do that? That's even crazier. 4/4 jumps to 3/4.
Had more than 2 chords.
See that? Yeah. If it's got more than 2 chords, I'm usually out. And so I'm listening. I'm listening to these things, and I really was. I had forgotten about a bunch of it, and I just kind of got surprised that I actually did it. And I'm like, well, how did I even do that? And it dawned on me. And I've talked about this before. Yeah, I did it because Rhonda said, you can do that. Of course you can. I'll help you. You can do it. And I look back and I guess I did. And so I've mentioned this a few times, and that I'm, seeing these things, and I think, gosh, I wish I had the faith in me that Rhonda has in me. And then I wish I could see myself sometimes, the way Rhonda sees me through her eyes, and then of course, it makes me start thinking about more and more stuff. Until pretty soon I'm thinking, well, if Rhonda knows me pretty well, what would it be like to see myself through God's eyes, who knows me very well? And then I started thinking about that, and at first, at first thought, it's very scary to think God knows every single thing about me. God knows, yeah, here's Rod, he's just all about peace and love, and he just wants to love people. And, a lot of people see that. God sees all of it. And so that is a little scary, that God sees, the time when, here's Rod wanting to whop a knot on somebody's head. And there's plenty of that time. And, God sees all these things. Every time, and I was thinking about through this, somewhere in the Bible, Paul was talking about, why do I do the things I know I'm not supposed to do, and then I don't do the things that I know I'm supposed to do? And that's me most of the time. I'm thinking about that. You know, other than when I'm on Facebook and I'm perfect, but outside of that, you know, these other things, God sees all those things. And so it's a little bit scary when you first think about that, seeing yourself through God's eyes. And then I thought, well, the next thing is God knows all these things, and yet God still loves me. How do I know God loves me? Well, for one, I feel it. And this is another thing I mentioned a few times. You can say things to somebody and, you know, maybe they get it, but you really don't get it until you feel it. And I certainly feel that. But even if that wasn't enough, if you were to pick up a Bible, open it up, just randomly pick a page and go put your finger on it, there's a good possibility that it's going to go to a spot that talks about how much, you know, God loves us. You know, the word is just full of that, and enough to where you could probably just find it like that. But, you know, that's kind of a big thing, that once you realize God loves you, even despite all this stuff, you know, so God knows everything about you and he loves you. Okay, so there's 2 points about seeing ourselves through God's eyes. The next thing I came up with, and, you know, this is one of those things that if you could spend months talking about this, or weeks. You know, I know that preachers do sermons on this for, you know, weeks and weeks on end, you know, the sermon series. And preachers love that sermon series thing where they go on for like 14 years talking about something. Anyway,
14 years?
A long time. Anyway, we could spend my point is we could spend a long time talking about this. I'm trying to condense it to a few points.
You're doing the Reader's Digest version.
I am, that we can think about this week. So, you know, so first thing, God knows everything about us. Second thing, God loves us. Despite all that stuff, doesn't matter. God loves us. So what's the third thing? Well, God created us. You know, God created everything, you know, in the entire world and universe. He also created us. And then, you know, I know people think, well, okay, big deal. God created dogs and cats and mosquitoes. Okay, well, he created us. He did create those things. But he created us. We're a little bit special. Okay, just remember that. We are special. We're not, you know, dogs or mosquitoes, but we're people. And
created
so we're
in his image.
Yes.
Where the others were not.
Yes, exactly. So we're in a special group. All right, so now we got all those things. The next thing was God created us, and then he created us to be unique. I am me, Rhonda's her, you are you, and there are no others out there like us. So we have been created to be unique. Have you ever seen anybody like me?
God, thank God.
Thankfully, no, there's just one.
And thank God there's only one of me, because I don't, if I were ever to meet that person, no. That'd be the end of me. I couldn't live with myself.
Okay, so we're unique. There's only one of us. And so when I start going through this thing, well, you know, God created me, and, you know, God loves me, and God knows me, and created me to be unique. The next thing was, why? Well, God created all those things and created me and Rhonda and you be unique and to have a purpose. Okay, I know that purpose is a tough one. I know we spend, some people, their whole lives trying to figure out that purpose, but, you know, the purpose is, you know, we're unique. There's something for us. You know, there's some reason. You know, the reason, I mean, we know the reason is to love God and to serve God. But how, I guess, is the question. And, you know, I always kind of fall back to when I decide, maybe I don't know. Well, I know that I want to be God's hands and feet, not the angry mouth, you know, not the, you know, the inquisitive ear, you know, trying to what people don't know. I want to be the hands and the feet. What can I do? And so that guides me a lot. So when all of this comes down to seeing myself through God's eyes as being me, I'm unique. I need to be Raj. You need to be you. You need to be Rhonda. Because you were created for a purpose and you're unique. Be you. You know, and then in God's eyes, since God knows all about me, I want to be me, but I want to be the best me I can be. And that's how God sees me. Raj, you know, I created you. You're unique. All these things about you, Rhonda, all these things about you, everybody out here listening, created you, made you just like you are. Just be you and be the best possible you that you can be. And that's a lifelong process. Every day we've led up to this. We've talked about it. Well, what did I do today? How can I be better me tomorrow? Think these things through and just see yourself through God's eyes. And that is you being you, the best possible you that you can be. Sound good?
Yep.
Yeah? All right. We're going to play music again, right?
Are you?
We?
Well, I think you can. Do you think you can?
I don't know. You seem to think so. You seem to think I can do about anything. So, and this is a case in point.
No. I don't think you can do anything.
About anything.
Okay.
We dragged out this song and I said, well, you need to sing it. I cannot sing it.
I said, okay, I'll sing it.
Yeah. And then, well, you try the, how about you do the verse? Yeah. So then I did the verse and, well, then, you know what? You do it. See how she worked that out? Rhonda's going to sing the song, and here we are, and I'm gonna sing the verse. So, good job.
I like to lift people up in their abilities.
You do. Yes, and I'm very thankful of it. So, all right, well, let's try it. I can't do it.
No, you can. Let's do it. I'll start with you. Come on.
I had to cough right in the middle.
It's all right. Come on.
I can hardly wait till that day when I hear my Jesus say, well done. Come home, my child. While I'm living here below, I'm going to work and I'm going to show how much I love Him. I want to see Him smile. I want to see Him smile. Well done, my child. You've done your best. Come rest a little while. The world of sin you've overcome. Drowning like you have won. But most of all, I want to see Him smile. Well, I've had trouble, I've had sorrow. I don't worry about tomorrow. For I know who holds my hand. I know if I will do my best, sure He will do the rest. Guide my way to that better land. I want to see Him smile. Well done, my child. You've done your best. Come rest a little while. The world of sin you've overcome. Around like you have won. But most of all, I want to see Him smile. This is Oni right here. Yep. Oni does a whole lot of this. So. Alright, so now you're going to sing one, right?
6/8 time.
6/8 time. Is that's like 3/4 time twice as fast?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Who am I that the highest King would welcome me? I was lost, but He brought me in. Oh, His love for me. Oh, His love for me. Who the sun sets free. Oh, it's free
right, everybody. So I'm just going to rehash those points because they're very important about how do we see ourselves through God's eyes. So one, just remember that God knows everything, and yet he still loves us. So God knows everything, and he loves us, and he created all of us, and he created us to be very unique, and he created us all to have a purpose. So what I'm going to try to do is remember all of that, and remember, I want to be me, but I want to be, through God's eyes, the best possible me that I can be. So think about that a little bit, because I've already been thinking about it a few days, and I still haven't got it all figured out, but I'm working on it. But I want that. I mean, I saw how much I could do just sort of seeing myself a little bit through Rhonda's eyes. What could I do if I could truly envision how God sees me in? So just be you. And I want to end with a quote from Dr. Seuss.
The true philosopher.
Yes. And I know you've heard all kinds of stuff about Dr. Seuss this week. Just know, nobody's trying to cancel Dr. Seuss. Trust me, nobody is canceling Dr. Seuss. But I'm going to read this. So this is a good one. Today you are you. This is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you.
Yep, that's a good one.
That's perfect. So that's
a good
it.
one.
You be you this week.
You are who you are.
Yep, the best possible you can be. And we will see you next week.
You were than you. Bye. See you next week.